Do you have heat on one side and cold on the other? Do you have the dreaded click, click, click of death? I'm changing my actuators. I'm Mike, the backyard mechanic, and this is the Mustang. It's hot.
That's hot.
No, I don't mean sexy hot. Well, it is that. I mean, I have that issue where it blows cold air on one side and hot on the other. You might be thinking, how bad can that be? Close the vents on the hot side. Believe me, I did that. But with temperatures over 90 degrees, you can't get away with such hacks. And in the Texas heat, your AC needs to be functioning at maximum capacity. You know how when your car gets too hot, the back of your shirt gets kind of sweaty? Here is a shot of me getting home from work one day. Not only is my back sweaty, but so is my front. My underwear is not only sweaty, but so are my pants. I'm drenched with sweat down to my socks. So I need to fix this issue. The hot-cold problem almost 100% of the time is due to a bad actuator. In the old days, vents were opened and closed mechanically by sliding handles across the console on the dash. Later, they were controlled by vacuum hoses. Now they're controlled by actuators, which are little gearboxes with an electric motor in them that turn until they are told to stop. Actuators go bad a lot. The previous generation of Ford actuators used pretty cheap gears and the teeth would strip. The ones in the Mustang have some heft to them, but they still have a weakness that the feedback sensor is frail and can lose contact. And the teeth still strip, like this one. I'll be replacing the Mustang actuators, but regardless of what kind of car or truck you have, you will learn from this video, as usual, from my mistakes. Here are the actuators in the Mustang. This is the air inlet mode door actuator. This is used to toggle between outside air and cabin air recirculation. This is the easiest one to get to, but it also works fine, so I'm not going to touch it. This is the panel defrost mode door actuator, which obviously turns on your windshield defrosters. This is by far the hardest one to get to, as you have to remove the airbag. Fortunately, it works fine. This is the floor mode door actuator, which, when open, blows air at your feet. This one is doing the clicking. I can tell by changing the AC controls and feeling it with my fingers. The Toyota actuators are more friendly in this regard. This style exposes the gear axle so you can feel it turning and which way. This gives you more information when troubleshooting. This is the right-hand temperature blend door actuator, which changes the temperature on the right side. This is the second hardest one to get to, and I think this one is fine, but I'm changing it since I will be in there. This is the left-hand temperature blend door actuator, which is the culprit, blowing hot air on the driver's side. This one, although far under the dash, is out in the open, and nothing needs to be removed to get to it. So it should be easy. How hard could it be? I mean, what could go wrong?
Son of a...
I started on the driver's side blend door actuator. This actuator has two 8mm bolts, and there is plenty of room for the wrenching. There's a red retaining clip that is easily popped out with a screwdriver, then the connector can be pried out. Now I can compare the old one to the new one. The new one has a white spline, and it's a little beefier, but it otherwise looks right. Note there's a flat spot on the spine. The first step is to turn the spline hub in the blend door so that the flat spots are facing the same direction. Be sure to use a plastic tool for this so as not to nick up the spline, making assembly difficult. Insert the spline, then turn it so the alignment pins push into place. Screw the screws. Ideally, the next step would be to clip on the connector. It would be, if I had octopus arms. I simply could not get the angle. So the next step is to take the actuator back off, then clip on the connector, then put the actuator back on. Screw the screws. Then discover the nice design that lets you screw the screw next to the hole? Why is this a thing?
Take that damn thing off.
Everything went together smoothly afterward.
What? What? Oh my god. Fuck.
In spite of all the blood rushing to my head, I managed to install the actuator. Note the mat on the floor to protect my knees. Pink is softer. For the actuators on the passenger side, I recommend removing the glove box. Some will say to just unclip the door and let it swing down, but if yours is easy enough to remove, you want it completely out of the way. I'm naturally starting with the floor mode door actuator toward the outside. This is the one that clicks. As a general rule, I recommend starting with the most difficult screw first and save the easiest one for last so that it's holding it in place. Nothing easily fits in this space, but an open end wrench on an angle has just enough room. The screws have very coarse threads, so it comes out pretty fast. The next screw comes out with a socket on a universal joint. The final screw comes out with a long extension. Pop the red retaining clip, then remove the connector. Before replacing the floor actuator, I'm going to replace the right-hand blend actuator. These things don't last forever, so you might as well swap in a new one while you have everything apart. This one has a bitch of a screw. The 8mm wrench didn't fit, so I tried a larger wrench, thinking it was a different screw, but that wasn't it. Only a socket fits in this space, but there's not room for the ratchet. I don't have any pass-through sockets, which would do the job here, so let's make one. I have this 5/16 hex drive socket from an old tool assortment set, but I need to cut it down so that it fits. I'm holding it in place with this grinding vise that I've had since my days as a tool maker, and I have a cutoff wheel on my die grinder. Safety first! Unfortunately, my air compressor capacity is limited, so I can only grind for about 20 seconds, then I have to wait 2 minutes for the tank to refill. But it gets the job done, with the help of a hammer. A 1/4-inch wrench fits on the end and gives me enough room to loosen the screw. After a couple of turns, I can get the 8mm wrench on it. Then I remove the other screw using the universal joint. I swapped out the actuators using one I accidentally bought for the floor door, but this isn't even a floor door actuator I bought. It's the defroster. It looks exactly the same and has the same pins. There could be some difference internally with the sensors. I installed it anyway. I guess we'll see how it works. Honestly, I didn't know I screwed this up until I wrote this script. I clipped in the connector first. I learned my lesson there. And it didn't fit. The spline was misaligned. So I turned on the car so that the climate controls would activate the actuator, and as soon as the spline was where I needed it, I turned the car off quickly. Now it pops in. I put in the easy screw first using my makeshift pass-through socket on a 1/4-inch socket held with a little bit of tape. This turned out to be super useful because it has a magnet to hold the screw in place. Then the hard one, using the wrench first, then my pass-through socket to tighten it up. Now for the floor door actuator. This takes a 2-pin, but I accidentally bought the 5-pin, which I used for the blend door. I had to wait a day for the new one to arrive at my auto parts store. It's hard to know which one you need to buy before you remove the part. As we know, there are known knowns. There are things we know we know. We also know there are known unknowns. That is to say, we know there are some things we do not know. But there are also unknown unknowns. The ones we don't know, we don't know. That's a fancy way of saying I'm an idiot. I suggest not buying these types of parts blindly like I did and find the proper schematics as I did after this screw up so that you know exactly what the part is and what the replacement should be. I ordered a new part and here it is. This one is definitely the right part. I triple checked myself this time. No more screw ups. This part doesn't fit. Looking closely, the replacement has some extra bulk under the left screw that the original doesn't have, and this bulk hits up against some ductwork. Amazon to the rescue. I found this doorman that was the right size and shape. This one looks correct. Still didn't fit. The spline is misaligned. I used my plastic tool to turn the hub as far as it would go, then I turned on the climate controls. This usually gets it to reset, but for some reason this wasn't working and the spline wouldn't line up with the indicator. Actuators run on 12 volts, but a 9-volt battery will be sufficient for this job. This is a 2-terminal actuator, so there's no guessing where the power goes. I went a little too far, so I reversed the leads, and it lined up. Now it pops right in. I installed the easy screw first, then the medium difficulty screw, and I skipped that hard one. What's going to happen? It's going to fly off, crashing through the dash and hit me in the head? Now to reset the system. Here's the process. Find the internal fuse box. In the Mustang, it's inside the passenger kickboard. The cover pops off, then you have this fancy black paper that you have to open like a birthday present. The fuse lid comes off by squeezing the 2 tabs. In the Mustang, remove fuse number 15, which is for the climate controls. Turn the key to the on position and give the system 30 seconds to reset. Replace the fuse, put the lid on it, rewrap your gift, and pop the cover back on. Now start the car. Test all the climate controls. I plugged in my scanner, cleared the codes, then ran the test. I'm getting a right temperature damper motor failure. Guess what that is? The 5-pin actuator that is actually for the defroster. So I ordered another actuator, waited another day, pulled the old one, swapped in the new one. I reset the system again by pulling the fuse, plugged in my scanner, cleared the codes, then ran the test. No codes. We have completed our mission. All the actuators replaced and no HVAC codes. Did it work? Not exactly.
What the hell?
I tested the temperature on each side using my AC thermometer. There's a big improvement, but the left side is still 10 to 15 degrees warmer than the right. I recharged my AC and tested again. Didn't help. So what's wrong? Using my scanner, I was able to change the position of the right-hand blend door. This went from 0% to 100%. The left blend door position would only go to 30% before going out of range. So something is wrong. The door might be jamming up. Unfortunately, I have to leave that fix for another time because it might involve a little matter of removing the entire dashboard. So this fix is inconclusive. But hey, I got a fan online. Hey fan, did you learn anything from this video? Thanks, fan. If you like this video, you might like the one where I went insane trying to figure out the DOT brake fluid system. That's hot.